not all the killing and all the blood.
Wish that maybe you were told about sort of the dark side of the meat industry.
Hey everyone, this is Klaus. So we've just recently launched an online campaign called Pepper is Bacon, and today we're going to be asking parents whether they think kids should know the truth about where their meat comes from.
I tell him all about how his food's made. He knows where everything comes from, so.
If you don't tell the truth, you're going to be lying for the rest of your life.
I think it's really important, but actually as a parent, I'm not sure how transparent I've been.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to traumatise them, but I guess transparency is never a bad idea.
It's important for them to know where their food comes from. So if you're eating a burger in McDonald's, what am I eating?
I think it's good to understand where our food comes from.
Do you love animals?
Yeah. Yes. Kind of. Definitely. I went in with a duck.
You did, didn't you? You had a bath with a duck.
And it tried pecking me.
It did try pecking you, didn't it? But you were having a great time, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you consider yourself an animal lover?
Yeah.
Yeah, you love animals, don't you? How many cats have we got?
3.
3, and we've got a frog as well. We love animals and reptiles, so.
Wow.
But it doesn't affect what we eat, unfortunately, because we don't really care.
I'm a carnivore through and through.
And do you think if you saw where your food came from, you would change your habits?
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about.
So you don't think kids should be shown the horrors of like factory farming?
No, only because I've seen it myself. So not all the killing and all the blood. And
you don't want to show them an actual animal getting slaughtered, but I think, yeah, like I said, it's something that should be talked about. But
if it's not good enough for their eyes, why is it good enough for their stomachs?
That's a good question, and honestly, I've got no answer for that. Yeah.
That's an interesting point of view. I mean, what they could potentially get nightmares over something like that could be affect their mental health. It's not the fact that it's not good enough for their eyes. It's the fact that there's all sorts of other issues that come with them seeing an animal get slaughtered.
You don't think animals think?
They feel, but they don't think.
They actually do think, though. That's what the science tells us. That's what human intuition tells us. What is the basis for your view that animals don't think?
I don't have scientific basis.
If I could easily kind of not eat meat, I would. Because if there was a way to kind of just be like, you know what, I can still get satisfied in the way that I wanted. I have the education of knowing how to get my proteins, my fats, all of that stuff. Then I don't think anyone would really need to eat meat. However, there isn't that education there. There isn't that knowledge that's widely spread. So you're gonna get into a situation where it's easy to just go to Sainsbury's and be like, yeah, let me just get some meat. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you're saying it's the easy option?
It is absolutely an easy option. Again, these don't justify the means. That's just the situation.
My reluctance to show my son how pigs get slaughtered isn't because I don't want him to not decide that is a reason for him not to eat ham. It's just the scene in itself.
I see trouble in kids seeing blood. It's just it. I don't like the idea because for me, it's not nice. But again, I don't see trouble in children knowing that the animal was killed.
I learned about it in school.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like it, but meat does taste good and I'm not a vegetarian. Good.
When you go on the bus, do you check, oh, this is leather, I'm not going to sit in, or you just focus on the meat and that's it?
It's about being practical, right? It's about minimizing harm as much as possible in fashion and food. And 3 times a day, we've got an opportunity to do that with what we buy. We know the ramifications of when we buy meat, dairy, eggs, or fish. So we've got the opportunity to vote for the kind of world we want to live in. Do you want to live in a world where we're intentionally paying somebody to kill an animal and cause environmental devastation? I don't want to be part of that. So I look at the evidence, which shows that, going plant-based is the single biggest thing we can do for the environment. I look at the evidence that shows, the largest dietetic associations in the world say we don't need to eat animal protein to survive or thrive. There are plenty of athletes living a plant-based lifestyle, and I go, cool, that I don't want to be part of that,
Our children are so removed from where food comes from, particularly meat. We actually took our children to a barn egg farm, and they were traumatised to see animals in small cages and things. And I think we have to be more aware of it, and to change, it's all about education, isn't it? And that's fundamentally where it comes from.
Sometimes when I look at myself reflecting back and I think about how I was brought up, you kind of wish that maybe you were told about sort of the dark side of the meat industry.
All of us are fed misinformation. It's how we then dilute it ourselves. We all have some personal responsibility to our views, regardless of how much we've been indoctrinated.
I'm such a rebel that I think that's probably why I'm eating meat more now, because they are actually trying to force us not to eat meat, even though I really don't want to eat meat.
How are government trying to force us to be vegan?
By ramming it down our throats.
So the campaign that we're doing at the moment is called Pepper is Bacon, and it plays on the disconnect between the narrative that we hear, fun, happy animals, and then what we do to them, the realities of the situation.
I fully back it. I think that's an amazing campaign.
So I haven't even thought about that. She loves Peppa Pig. We don't eat pork though in our house, so I don't know about that. But in terms of like animals, yeah, she wouldn't watch Peppa Pig and think, oh, we eat that animal. Maybe that's something that as a parent I should think about, because I don't know.